All right, positive energy all the time. We are back. And I don't even want to talk about this too long because this is not making a lot of sense. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they are saying that the judge in the little Durk case is being threatened. This is going to be real quick. I'm not going to talk about this too long, but they're saying that the judge in the little Durk case is being threatened. And they've been going on with the case without letting Little Durk's attorneys and Little Durk know about the threats. So I'm trying to figure out, wait a minute, how in the world, first off, how do you threaten a judge? That's the first thing. Like, that doesn't sound right. Like, you're not supposed to be able to threaten a judge. You're not supposed to be able to contact a judge in the middle of a case like that. And if there's threats, I don't think you would tell the judge. I'm not sure how you would deal with that, but if you tell the judge you're going to prejudice the case, the judge is not going to know if it's little Dirk's people doing it, if it's a crackpot doing it, if it's a fan doing it. Is it the police doing it? So this doesn't make much sense. So somebody's been threatening the judge, but little Dirk's attorney was not notified. So they just kind of went on with the hearing, with this whole situation without informing the attorneys of little Dirk that there's been threats on the judge. It's something. So all this time he's been trying to get a bond. The bond has been denied. But the bond could be denied because of prejudice from the judge, because the judge could believe that he's behind it, but his attorney don't know none of this. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Maybe it's me. How do you threaten a judge in the middle of a trial? Does anybody have any idea? Put it in the chat. I'm not sure at all how you would do that. And so he doesn't know. So he's offering all this money for a bond, but he's not getting a bond. The whole time the judge is scared. The judge might think he's behind it. His attorney needs to know if the judge is scared so the attorney could move accordingly. What the heck? It's like you got to throw that out. You got to throw that out. How, you have to throw that out. I don't see any way you can have that case. I don't see it in any kind of way. I don't see it. This is making like no sense. Unless I'm crazy. This is making uh, no sense in any kind of way. There is no type of way that this is making any sense whatsoever. I don't see it. It looks like Durk got a lawsuit, and then if this is allowed to happen, they have to throw the case out, and then the victim's family have a lawsuit. Because where is the safeguards against this happening? How do you threaten a judge? How? Make it make some type of sense. How do you threaten a judge in a case like this? There's no way to call a judge. I'm totally confused. How do people get access to call a judge or threaten a judge? Where would you get that access from? That like makes like no type of sense in a case like this. And then somebody's calling and threatening the judge, but there's no mention of it. Uh, if I'm Durk and you got me for this so-called case where people was unalived, and then somebody's called you threatening you, and now you're kind of prejudiced, and then you're not telling me, so you're not telling me this. I'm trying to get bonds. I can't get no bond. I can't get nothing. The whole time, I don't know that you are scared. I don't know who you think did it. You might think I'm behind it. Now this could go against me if the judge think I'm behind somebody threatening them. How can I get a fair trial or be treated fairly? This sounds absolutely crazy. And nobody know you. You don't tell anybody. So you just got me in court, but somebody's threatening you, saying that if you lock me up, they're going to unalive you. But me and my attorney don't know this is going on. What the heck is going on? Does this make like any kind of sense at all? Like a maybe just a little sense? It doesn't seem like it's making any sense to me. Boy, I tell you, this justice system is just turning into I thought the young thug trial was bad. This is just getting a little ridiculous. Looks like they got to gut the system and redo it. How do you threaten a judge? How do you call down to a courthouse to threaten a judge? This doesn't sound like it makes any type of sense. It should not be that. It should not be easy to contact a judge. That seems there should be networks and barriers you would have to go through to contact a judge in a case in a case like that. I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure how that's done, but to have that done and somebody threatening you, and you just go on with the case, that's pretty much been prejudiced already. I couldn't believe this. One of my children told me this. Well, they're not children anymore. Well, one of my offspring told me that they was just as confused as I was. It was like, what? What? Does anybody have any idea about this? Can you say something in the chat? Like, so imagine I go to a judge, my lawyer goes to a judge and wants to put up some type of bond. The judge says no, but the judge been threatened. The judge might think I'm behind being threatened and now won't give me a bond. But I might not have nothing to do with it. It could be a police officer doing it to make sure I don't get a bond. It could be a police officer doing that so I don't get a bond. Because I could see a police doing it quicker than I could see a citizen. I would believe a police would have the access to call and threaten a judge quicker than a citizen. I don't think a citizen would know where to begin to call. I wouldn't know how to call and threaten a judge. How do you know who the judge is? How do you find a number to call a judge? How does a judge know you called? None of this is making any sense. This is absolutely crazy. I didn't really want to. I just want to see what everybody's going to put in the chat. I'm gonna go back and be reading the chat. Maybe somebody can answer this. If somebody could give me some answer in the chat or make some sense, I'll come and do another live on it if I can figure it out. I can't really live stream about it because I don't really know what to say. I tried to look it up. I couldn't see anything on how you contact a judge that's handling a serious case like this, like a RICO type case. Like, I'm not sure how you would contact the judge. And I'm not sure how nobody would know this will happen. I'm not sure. So how is the defense attorney supposed to defend a client, right? How's the defense attorney going to defend a client when the defense attorney don't know that the judge is being threatened? I don't understand that. Shaking my head. You know, you still got to go through the process. So, what's your name? Shaking my head. So, are you saying there shouldn't be no legal process? They should just do it based on what you're saying and just find people guilty like that? Because if that's the case, if you're a black person, they can just grab you off the street and then you don't think you deserve no due process either. Huh? Is that what you're saying? No deep due process? Because you don't like his music? Because you think the music is no good? What about if it's a white person? They don't like the color of your skin, or they don't like your hair, or they don't like your religion. Do you feel like this the same? Because you're not really making much sense. Because I don't know what that got to do with due process. Yeah, I don't know what you mean about involvement without due process. What involvement? Don't you have to prove involvement? Sure, I don't know. Yeah, you're a little strange, but you're a little strange. We don't know what you do, so we don't know if you're a decent person or innocent person. Shaking my head, so it's kind of hard to take you serious without knowing what type of person you are. It's kind of hard to. You're not making much sense. Why don't you come back tomorrow, okay? Yeah, come back tomorrow. You're not you're not making much sense. Yeah, you come back tomorrow. You're not making much sense. I never heard nothing. This is it seems like these courthouses are not that professional, or maybe they haven't updated their situation to function in the internet world. And now that we're in a social media internet world, maybe the courtrooms have to update or something. Because this doesn't sound right in so many ways. The fact you can call a judge, the fact you can even threaten a judge sounds a little crazy. How do you do that? And then there's not no type of way where you can't just get through to a judge. Like if a judge is handling a RICO case or an unaliving case, it doesn't seem like nobody should be able to contact them under those circumstances. So what if this judge was doing the case with the mafia or something like that? Like you shouldn't be able to contact the judge. It is definitely a conflict of interest. And I don't know. With this technology, I don't see how you contact and threaten a judge. That doesn't make much sense to me. How do you do that? And then when you do it, all you need is their full name, and you can reverse look up the number. There shouldn't be no number. Mo, if I'm a judge and I'm handling cases like mafia cases, there should be no way to contact me by phone at all. For what? I'm not a lawyer. You contact lawyers. How do you contact a judge? You can't hire a judge, right? So you can't call a judge. Judge, I want to hire you. So there's no need for a contact for a judge. I wouldn't think. For what? I don't see. I don't. Okay, if I said it shouldn't be and you say it is, does that make much sense? Because I'm saying it shouldn't be. So I'm trying to figure out how it is a response to it shouldn't be. Could you explain that to me? Because you're confusing me. Because that shouldn't be allowed, is my point. You shouldn't. Okay. Okay, let's change it. Let me see if you can answer this. Give me any reason why a person would contact a judge. Why would a judge have a way to be contacted? Let's try that. Because I can't see any reason to contact a judge at a court building, especially a judge that handles RICOs and unalivers. Contact them for what? What would be the purpose of contacting a judge? Like you contact a barber to get your hair done, a dentist to go to the dentist, a plumber, a carpenter. Give me a reason I would have to call a judge to do what exactly, Mo? That's my point. That's where I'm confused at. Why would a judge have a personal phone in their name that do RICOs and unaliving cases? I still don't understand. Just like I work for the CIA and I got a phone number in my real name. You know what I'm saying, Mo? Like I work for the CIA. I'm a secret agent for the CIA. My name is Eddie Johnson. And you can look up Eddie Johnson and you can contact me, the CIA agent Eddie Johnson. Like, no, you're not. I'm confused. Like that's crazy as hell. That's all I'm saying, boy. I know they can do it, but that's crazy. That's crazy. A judge? That's a That's crazy. Like for certain, if you're judges and you handle certain type of cases, there should be extreme privacy. I would think. That's what I'm saying. How's a judge got a phone in their name and you're doing a trial for John Gotti? You got John Gotti in the courtroom, but they can look up. This sounds crazy. This sounds crazy. This is crazy. That sounds crazy. I, that sounds crazy. I'm confused. I was like, they called the judge and threatened the judge. I could. I was like, how the hell do you call a judge for a case like that? So can you call Trump and the vice president and all of them? You shouldn't be able to call congressmen, senators, mayors. Like you should not be able to call them. Like certain positions, that's absolutely dangerous. That's dangerous. Maybe judges in a traffic judge for traffic or something, but like RICO cases and like mobsters and like unalivings and stuff. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. Then you call the judge and threaten her. Then the judge goes back to court and don't tell nobody you threatened them. And then somebody didn't call and said, if you do something to Pharaoh, we're gonna blow your house up. I don't know. My lawyer don't know. I asked to put a bond up, and the judge say no. And I'm like, well, I put up 30 million. No. And I'm like, why she won't give me a bond? And then 2 months later, I find out somebody called and said that if she locked me up, they're gonna blow her house up. And I'm like, why you didn't tell me? Somebody said it was going to blow your house up. So I could have had at least an idea on why you keep saying no. You know what I'm saying? And they just keep saying no and not telling you nothing. Man, they got to throw that case out. They got to, you've been prejudiced and you withheld evidence from my attorney. You withheld evidence from my attorney. So we don't even know you're extremely scared of me. And then on top of that, we don't know if the police is doing it. So the police could do that and prejudice me and have the judge hate me and have the judge think I'm the worst mobster ever and I don't even got nothing to do with it. Don't even know what's going on. That's a good way for the judge to, for police to get you locked up. And I'm going to keep it real. Nobody can call a judge quicker than the police and other attorneys. So now the attorney that's trying to the state's attorney and the attorney general could be calling them so they could win the case. Hey, the attorney general and the prosecutor could be doing that so that they can get a win. They want to win so bad because I'm Lil Durk and I'm a big name and it's a big strike. So they call the judge and threaten the judge to make me look like the worst mobster ever. And then you don't even tell my lawyer, and there's no means on finding out who's really calling you. Because if it's the prosecutor, the case got to get thrown out. So how do you call a judge and nobody know who called them? And this is a judge for a case like that. Make all that make some kind of sense. And how many times has that been happening? Like, has this been happening before with other cases? Because that's a good way for the prosecutor to prejudice the case. They got the most to gain. The person that's got the most to gain is the prosecutor and the state's attorney. My friends is trying to get me out. No, that's going to work against me. So who benefits if you're trying to say I'm a mobster? Who benefits from scaring the judge? But the prosecution. Like in the real world. And who could call you but the state's attorney and the prosecutor and the people you work with? Who's gonna have a number? People that work at the courthouse or some hoodlums in Chicago, some BDs in Chicago? Who could get the judge number the easiest? I smell a rat. This sounds this don't sound right, okay? This is what I'm saying, Mo. This don't sound right. This don't sound right because ain't nobody just off the street. You understand? This don't sound right. This don't sound right. This sound like there's a lot of crooks, Jason. One thing for sure, Jason, people like you don't want to lock up all the crooks because if you did, Trump would be under the prison. So you don't, some of y'all is saying lock up these people, y'all not really honest, y'all phony. Because if they really locked up criminals, a lot of your mayors and senators and presidents and vice presidents and big business people would be under the prison. So it could be a lot of racism, self hate involved with your over the top lock up certain people. Because Jason, it's probably a gang of criminals, could be a gang of criminals in your family. Matter of fact, Jason, we don't know if you're a criminal or not, to be honest with you. We don't know if you're embezzling or whatever. We don't really know you. Like, we have no proof you're no angel, Jason. I'm just saying. We don't really know you. Or your relatives, or your parents, or your children, or your uncles and aunties and all. Like, we don't know the criminals you're around. That it's a high possibility you're around some. That's a high possibility these days that you're not necessarily squeaky clean. I'm just saying. Jason, I don't really know you. you know, I know a lot of times the ones that just always making a noise be the biggest crooks. Look how many police officers end up getting locked up. The ones that's supposed to catch the crooks. So I don't know. I don't be listening to that. I can't, you can't trust people nowadays. But I tell you this, uh, somebody calling and threatening a judge, if I had to bet, law enforcement is doing that. If I had to bet, I would bet there's the righteous people like Jason doing it. If I had to bet, I would bet it was the good guys doing that criminal activity. If I had to bet, I'm just saying. It don't sound right. Sounds funny. What's going on, Fantasia? Okay, come back tomorrow, okay? Come back tomorrow, Fantasia. You can say it again tomorrow. I'm not sure where he's locked up, but I'm sure it's California. This case is happening in California. So I'm pretty sure it's in California. I just thought that was crazy. My point that some of the righteous over here is missing is that how do you call a judge? That's the part I'm focusing on. And if they call a judge, because some of these righteous people aren't really that righteous, because if a judge is handling the case and the judge is getting threats, and the judge doesn't let the defense team know this is happening, the judge at that point is a crook too. Is a crook because they're withholding vital evidence from a person getting legitimate defense. That's crooked. I would think. I wouldn't say that's a good, righteous judge that's got somebody sitting there and won't tell the attorney somebody's been threatening me, and now my mind is prejudiced. So anyone that would hide that they're possibly prejudiced, don't that's criminal. You say, what does this got to do with defending now? Jason, what does a judge being threatened and not telling the rest of the court has to do with Durk? What does that have to do with defending Durk? I'm confused. I think you're confused too. This really don't have anything to do with Durk. This has something to do with the judge not revealing to the defense attorney that they've been prejudiced. That's what I thought I was talking about, Jason. Now, what are you talking about? I don't think you know. I think you're just stuck on Durk. I don't think you know what I'm even talking. Jason, I really don't think you know what I'm talking about. I don't. I don't. I think you're off subject because this really has nothing to do with Dirk. This has something to do with somebody threatening the judge and the judge not telling the defense attorney. So what do you mean Dirk? What do you mean defending Dirk? I'm confused, and I think you're confused too. I think you're so caught up with the situation with Dirk that you don't know what I'm saying. So you're trying to make me off subject like you're off subject. So you don't agree that if the judge was threatened, that the judge should have to tell the defense attorney that they was threatened and possibly prejudiced? You don't agree with that, Jason? I don't think they're trying to aggravate me. I don't think they know what I'm talking about. I think I'm not going to say unintelligent, but something like that. I don't think they are up to par with the conversation. If the judge received threats, they can stay on the case, but I ask you a simple question. Should they have to let the defense attorney know? If they don't let the defense attorney know and they did and we find out, no, they can't stay on the case. They could probably stay on the case if they let the defense attorney know. But if they withhold that information and could be possibly prejudiced, then they would be unfit. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think the judge, you see what I'm saying? When the judge was threatened, the judge was supposed to tell the defense attorney that I've been threatened. Therefore, the defense attorney's not in the dark and they can try to see if you've been prejudiced because now when I want to put a bond up, you might just say no because you might think my client is behind it, but anybody could be behind it. And if there's people over here if there's people if there's prosecution people that feel like some of these people that Dirk should just go to jail for whatever, and they were unprofessional like some of y'all might call the judge to make sure the judge hates Dirk because you want him locked up so bad that you good guys could be the one to call the judge to make him look worse. The good guys. Because this could be the good guys. Let's not forget that part. This could be the law abiding people, could be the one calling the judge to prejudice Dirk. Let's just be honest. This could be the good guys that's calling. Because most likely it's the good guys, because the good guys would be able to contact the judge before just somebody off the streets. I don't know. But people that work in and out that courtroom would be able to contact the judge quicker than just some gang member. I would think. I would think the prosecution's team could contact the judge quicker than a gang member. I don't know. I would think if I was an investigator, I would surely be investigating everybody in that building. If I was the good guy and I was trying to find out who was threatening the judge, the first people I would look at would be the prosecution. If I was a good guy, I would be looking for bad guys on the prosecution. I don't know. And all of y'all that hates the bad guy Durk, are y'all going to come back if we find out it was one of the good guys that was calling the judge pretending? I'm just saying. Are y'all going to come back and say, you see what I'm saying? If it's one of the good guys that's calling and threatening the judge to prejudice the case? Because most likely that's who it is. Most likely. If I had to bet, I would bet it's what the good guys calling the judge. I would think it's the good guys would have the ability to call a judge. I wouldn't think just no BD or no Crip or no Blood would be able to call a judge as quick as a prosecution team and state's attorneys. I would think they would have access to that number first. I just can't see nobody just on the street just would have access. I don't know. Ricardo, you don't know if it's them or you don't know if it's the prosecution. I know you know, Ricardo, that it be crooks on both sides. And I know that some prosecution teams will do anything to win the case and will break the law to win the case. A high profile case is not beneath the prosecution to break the law. I know you know that, Ricardo, you know, if you're really highly intelligent about crimes. Trump's team would definitely do that. He's a crook for sure. How many of you good guys want Trump to get locked up for his multiple crimes? Big crimes, too. I don't really do the good guy stuff because a lot of the good guys be criminals. But for sure, the prosecution would have more interest in making Durk look bad than Durk's friends. It would be really stupid if I was Durk's friend to call a judge and threaten him. I would think. I would think the person that would work the best for is the person that want to make Durk look bad. So if I had to choose, I would think that's something that the prosecution would do because it's a high profile case. And we know how these good guys are and what they'll do to win a high profile case. They'll sell their mama because it's a high profile case and it's an opportunity to get a promotion. And we know a lot of you good guys do all type of crimes for a promotion and for more money. We do know that. You good guys, they call y'all white collar crimes. So we know white collar crime people. We know how they get out. Some stuff like phone calls sounds white collar. I don't know. Something like calling a judge to prejudice a case, a high profile case where you could move up if you win the case. That could be a that could be white collar crime. I could see the good guys breaking the law and doing that. I could see that. For all you goody two shoes out there. I can see goody two shoes doing that to win the case. Because if you ever been to court, prosecutors they lie horrible. They're not righteous people. They're big liars, and they will lie on you to win the case. So don't talk to me about prosecutions like they're holy, righteous people in the name of Jesus, because they will lie on you. Quick. They will lie. They will do anything to win a case. So we ain't gonna talk like they're just holy, righteous people. Sounds good though. And then I can't trust holy, righteous people over here because people will come over here and talk holy, righteous, and then if we know you're on, we'll look up 3 weeks later, 3 years later, and you'll be on the news in your city arrested for something. We're like, I know that ain't the guy was there in my chat. I know that's not you arrested for that. You was messing with little children? Really? Because that's a secret when you be doing stuff like that. You still be righteous, and you don't be unrighteous until they catch you. So these righteous people be righteous until they get caught. Oh, they be so righteous till they get caught. I mean, you say the only person that doesn't lie is God. I didn't know God was a person, but if you say so. Whatever. They just to say anything, and you get used to it. Sometimes people, when they want to prove a point, they'll prove that they're not really good at making points. The effort to make a point, so a lot of time backfire. You know what I'm saying? I just look and just shake my head at some of it. Because in my world, a lot of stuff is a lie. But I just thought that was strange that the judge didn't tell anybody that they was being threatened. That's got to be a violation. How do you go to court and you've been threatened? You feel like you've been threatened with this person. And how do they get a fair trial when you feel like somebody on their side been threatening you and then you don't let their attorney know? But you're claiming that you're going by this fair law and all these rules, but you break your own rules because you're supposed to tell that. For sure, the judge was supposed to reveal that they've been threatened. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The judge will be removed from the case, but not from being righteous either, for being a scumbag and not revealing what was going on and sitting up there being holier than thou and not even being honest with their doggone self. You're supposed to tell all of that so that it could be a fair trial. You can't sit up there and think of somebody from this man's side is threatening you and don't tell his attorney and prejudice him quietly and nobody knows you've been threatened and you're the judge. How are you the judge when you don't even be honest? What kind of judge is that? A judge is supposed to be honest. Soon as they came to work, they were supposed to call a meeting and they think it's talk to the sheriffs and everybody say, I've been threatened. That was supposed to be revealed immediately. If you're a great, honest, by the book judge, that was supposed to be revealed. You kept that quiet? Why? You didn't. She didn't. If I don't know if it's a male or female, but the whole case has been prejudiced now. So now it's questions about why you didn't give him a bond. Is that why you didn't give him a bond? Who did it? Did your own office do that? I mean, it's a lot. It's like what? What kind of straightforward, honest justice is that when you're hiding information like that? It's not. What the hell? That's why a lot of us we can't win. There's crooks on both sides. You got the crooks over here. Then you go to court, you got the crooks over there. You're surrounded by crooks. They overtax you, overtax property taxes, crook. President, crook. Governors, crooks. Senators, crooks. Mayors, city council, crooks. Then the crooks. You got crooks on this side and crooks on, and you're surrounded by crooks. The bad guy crooks and the good guy crooks. Just crooks. And a lot of times the good guy crooks work with the crooks. This judge and got pissed at his wife and went and got some crooks that he held, took his case and have them go do something to his wife. We see that all the time. He go and get somebody that was in his courtroom getting in trouble, and he go get him to do something to his wife. They hook up with the crooks. Hey, Johnny boy, I know you be doing bad stuff. You've been in my court a lot. Would you do something to my wife? You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. Y'all know I ain't lying. How many times have judges hired the same criminals they prosecuted to do stuff to people? More times than you can count. Police too. Police behind crooks. Police behind the same people they be arrested to do stuff. Facts. They even mess with the prostitutes they arrest. The police. Turn around be her biggest customer. That's why when they came over here holier than thou, a lot of them people that came over here is the crooks. Lock them up forever. Is the main one supposed to be locked up? Trust me. Soon as when they holier than thou, hide your purse, hide your wallet. when they real holy and they righteous and they want to take a bite out of crime, hide your wallet and hide your purse. Because that'd be the first one. That'd be the first criminal. Can trust them further than you can see them. I just wanted to talk about this. I thought it was proof that the system's got to be redone because you can't trust nobody. We're surrounded by corruption. You can't clean up corruption in the streets when there's corruptions in the White House, corruption in the Congress and the Senate, corruption in the state capitol, corruption in City Hall, corruption in the police station. How you gonna clean up corruption on the street when the whole thing is corrupt? Hell, your property taxes is a strong arm robbery. You know you don't owe them people that. You know doggone well you ain't getting nothing back for all that money you paying for your property taxes. You know you ain't getting nothing back from sales tax or none of these taxes. You ain't getting nothing back. That money going in somebody's pocket. That money ain't really helping fix nothing. You just getting robbed every step of the way. You know Whole Foods robbing you. Them the good guys. They have you come right to the cash register, just give them your money. How much is this peach? $9. How much is this orange? $8. You pay $17 for a peach and an orange. Out here messing with these people. These people, something else. I know they rob me every day. No gun and nothing. They be robbing you while you sleep. You get up, you get your light bill. What? You get your water bill. They be robbing you. When you drive down the street, they be robbing. You go to the gas pump, boo. They robbing me so bad. Now, I never used to stare at the cash register like now. I just be staring at the cash register. As soon as they break some stuff in the store, the cash register say $89. Am I the only one that be seeing $89 really fast? I don't see $89 on the belt or on in my bags, but the register say $89. I ain't seen no $89 worth of stuff. I seen $39 worth of stuff. Why does this register say $89? And you talk about lock somebody up. Lock Whole Foods up. lock the whole Whole Foods up. Not half a Whole Foods, not a quarter of Whole Foods. Whole Foods, the Whole Foods, lock them up the whole time. They be robbing me. They rob you with a smile too. They make you hand over your money on your own. No gun or nothing. They have an old lady there. That'll be $169, sir. That register just be it be like straight. You know they robbing you. You can't even do nothing. Man, they be boy, Samara. It's a mess. But I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention because my main thing is how do you get a judge phone number? You're not supposed to be able to get a judge's phone number. It just didn't sound right that somebody called and threatened a judge. It sounds crazy. Judges like to handle RICO cases and unalivings. I don't know how you call a judge and threaten them. That sounds crazy. How do you call a judge and threaten them? And you ain't under the jail before you hang the phone up. Like, I don't get that part. It seems like they would be really protected. I don't see where you should be able to call no judge. That sound crazy. Something don't sound right. Anyway, that's what I think about that, y'all. Thanks for watching. And be safe out here, because if they could threaten a judge, they know they could threaten me and you. We ain't got a chance to hell, do we? Mm-mm-mm.